Hey, what's up, guys? John here. Existing home sales just fell 17% over the last year. It's the lowest level since the Great Financial Crisis 2010. Goldman Sachs says that they don't see home sales returning anytime soon, and they're talking about 2027 to see a return to pre-pandemic levels. Housing affordability is going to get worse. I don't think so. I think what we're going to start to see is going to be unbelievable. And many people just aren't ready for it. I'm going to break it down for you clearly because it is a shocker. I think it's going to be way crazier than the Great Financial Crisis. It's going to be crazier than anything we've ever seen in our lifetimes. And it's about to hit this U.S. economy like a tornado. I'm going to break it down for you. Hit the like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube will share this content to educate other people about what's really going on. And if you want to fix your credit, you want to position yourself for the greatest wealth transfer of all time, we'd love to help you. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, you have negative items on your credit report, do not let one or two or a few items on your report hold you back from being able to invest in this incredible wealth transfer that we're in right now. Book a call below, greatcreditfast.com. Take a look at this. So many people are talking about Airbnb bust. They're talking about different, little small little pockets of problems in housing markets. And sure, that is a big problem. But look at stage one of the problem. You have 55% of all homes, 55% of the entire U.S. housing market is owned by people 55 years and older, right? 55 years and older. And half of these retirees, half of them, have fallen into poverty, that have already taken retirement, right, during the first wave. Half. Now, many retirees that retired thinking that inflation is going to be 2%, inflation is going to be 3%, and they're basing their monthly cost on this, affordable inflation. Now they're going to the grocery store, getting a bag of groceries, and it's costing them $100 bucks, $125. Many of these retirees are in really, really big trouble. And so as that is happening, insurance is continuing to rise, property taxes are continuing to rise, utility bills are going up, everything is going up. What are they going to do, right? What are they going to do? They're either going to take in roommates, they're going to rent out their properties, they're going to sell their properties. But you have roughly, a little over half of the U.S. housing market that is, in a big problem, right? Half of the retirees are in poverty as of now. Things are going to get much, much worse. We're going to see a lot of these retirees start to list their properties. They're going to have no other choice. And this is only part one of the problems that are going to be coming to this market that nobody's talking about. Another situation here, which some people are talking about, is mortgage applications now at the lowest level in 28 years, since 1995, right? Well, and the reason for this is, of course, mortgage rates. Mortgage rates are through the roof. People can't afford it, right? But now home builders are actually competing with pre-existing homes. They're saying, hey, you know what? We can undercut you. We can build this for less. We can sell this property for less. And that's exactly what's happening in Dallas-Fort Worth. Newer homes, cheaper than existing homes, right? This is what is going to happen. These home builders that thought they had buyers at 2.5%, 3%, 4% mortgage rates, now they don't have them. They need to unload that inventory. So they are undercutting. They're undercutting local comps, local comparables. And it's a big problem for these property owners. Now, it brings me to this chart here with the Great Financial Crisis, right? And here we are in 2023. See this little bump here in 2010? Then it fell again. I believe that we're going to be seeing a very similar thing here in 2024. I think we're going to start to see a real decline in property values. And I think we're going to see a really big crisis of affordability. I think what we're going to likely see here is this. Look at this for now. This $500,000 purchase price, right, which is basically the average home price now in America, $500,000. Well, the average technically is $419,000, but if you live in any city, any suburb near a city, it's probably $500,000 in your market. Down payment about $30,000, 6%. That's the average for first-time buyers, and interest rate about 8%. You're talking about $4,000 a month, right? $4,000 a month, not including the cost of being a property owner, maintenance, repairs, things like that. Probably closer to $4,500 a month. So if you look at that number, $4,500 a month, you'd have to make, on $4,000 a month, you'd have to make about $12,000 a month in gross income, $144,000 a year, just to barely get approved for this mortgage. And you need pretty good credit as well. So that's about 8.3% of the entire general public. 8.3% of the public makes $150,000 or more, right? That can actually afford to go buy a basic house, right? So you're starting to see this pool of buyers get greatly compressed. And rates are going to continue to rise. If you have bad credit, 640, for example, you're talking almost 9%. Like people can't, that's absolutely crazy. 7%, 7.5% if you have exceptional credit, right? So you look at what the Zillow co-founder, Spencer Rascoff, said. He says we're likely at the peak of mortgage rates. Now, I personally do not advise listening to anyone that says that we are going to, what's going to happen in mortgage rates, because many people thought that mortgage rate hikes were over in January. And what ultimately happened? I mean, we're 9 months past January basically now. Rates are still going, they're still going up. I mean, look at Jerome Powell. He says, hawkish, reminds me of Seinfeld episode, right? No retreat, no surrender, one day ago, Reuters, right? This is what's going to happen. He's going to continue to increase interest rates and keep them much higher for much longer. So many people, were saying, hey, you know what, buy in January and refinance later. I mean, how's that working out? Not great so far. Many people, if rates don't come down in the next year or so, they're going to be in very, very, very big trouble that fell for that trap, thinking that, rates are going to come down. Now, rates may come down. They might. But not before this happens. And this is what's going to be number 3 is the biggest problem, is layoffs. You're starting to see this. I mean, farmers just cut 2,400 jobs 13 hours ago. Boeing is cutting jobs. CVS is cutting jobs. Like job cuts basically everywhere are happening across the board, especially in tech. A lot of these high-paying jobs. And so when you look at what's happening, it's very fascinating. We're going to see a few things happen. Likely, interest rates, again, staying higher for longer. Inflation likely continuing to run worse. And we're likely going to see an affordability crisis in this country like we have never seen before. And so what are business owners, what are corporations going to do to offset a struggling consumer and higher wages? Employees are demanding higher wages. What are they going to do? Well, it's very simple. They're going to start to move into AI and tech. And it's projected that 85 million jobs will be gone by 2025. Now, am I saying this to concern anyone? No. But what I am saying is we're going to see a lot of capital getting restructured. We're going to see a lot of opportunity unfold in the real estate market. We're going to see a lot of distress unfolding in the real estate market. And it makes a lot of sense to position yourself based on facts, based on reality, not based on headlines that, hey, home values, they only go up. Home values don't always go up. Nothing always goes up. So what are we going to start to see here? We are going to see distress. We are going to see opportunity. Smart and savvy investors are seeing the writing on the wall. Home affordability, this problem, this crisis, what's going to happen? We're going to start to see a lot of sellers being forced out of the market. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, John, you're wrong. You're wrong. 2%, 3%, 4% mortgage rates, people aren't going anywhere. And you're right. Many of them will not. But many of them will be forced to as the cost to become a homeowner continues to rise, cost of living continues to go up, and wages may not keep up. The average person stays in their home in America for 7 years. 7 years. That's not a long time. A lot of people moved in 2020. Now, in a couple of years, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to be moving. You're going to have a lot of people that are going to be making hard decisions. You're going to see a lot of people making a hell of a lot of money based on all of these trends. And this is not to mention the fact that banks have constricted lending dramatically. Over the last 5 months since the Silicon Valley Bank collapse happened in March, banks have only lent $30 billion. $30 billion nationwide. It's a very, very small number in relation to normally they lend between 150 and 200 billion. So they've reduced lending almost 80% in the last 5 months. Over $1 trillion of commercial real estate loans has to get refinanced in the next 12 months. $2.7 trillion has to get refinanced from now until 2027. So where's that money going to come from, right? Where's it going to come from? It's going to come from private capital markets. It's going to come from private equity investors, institutional investors buying deals for pennies on the dollar. And I believe that's going to have a really, really big impact on labor markets. I think it's going to have a big impact on the economy, getting financing to buy single-family homes. We're going to see a big restructuring of all this. Smart and savvy investors, what are they doing right now? They're positioning themselves, their business, their credit score, cash. They're doing everything that they could possibly do to put themselves in a very, very, very strong position for this incredible wealth transfer. What are people that are not as bright doing? Ignoring reality. But the old saying is true, and I always say this. Smart people see things for how they really are. Everyone else sees things for how they want them to be. Look at the last 3 years. Look at the last 3 years. The entire economy, it's made up of a complete lie. The last 3 years, they printed 40% of all USD since 1776. 40% the last 3 years, made all bills essentially optional. Rent, you had moratoriums on mortgages, utility bills are optional, student loans are still optional. All these bills are optional. What did people do? They took out large blocks of debt and borrowed money because they had more money than ever before. Stocks were going up, crypto was going up, everything was going up, everyone was making money. Now the money's getting pulled out of the market and the world's changing. This recession is going to be unlike any other recession before it. The reason for it is before man and woman pulled ourselves out of each recession, right? We got out of it. This time, This recession, technology is bringing everybody out of it. And with that, it's going to come job loss. It's going to come restructuring of human capital. It's going to come with massive change to this economy, to the likes in which many people aren't ready for. So prepare for it. Put yourself in a really strong position. I think fortunes will be made over the next probably 2-3 years for the smart and savvy people that are, being forward thinking and really planning for what's actually happening. And I think it's going to be incredible wealth transfer with immense opportunity for the smart and prepared. If you want to fix your credit, you want to position yourself for the greatest wealth transfer of all time, we'd love to help you. GreatCreditFast.com, link below. Book a free call. Book a strategy session. If you have one late payment or charge-off medical bill, you have a couple problems on your report, book a call, see how we can help you fix your credit to position yourself for the greatest wealth transfer of all time. Don't let a couple issues or one issue get in the way of a bright future. Go to GreatCreditFast.com. Catch you guys in the next video.